Hey Guitar Champion, what's going on? Justin Hornbach here, back from my practice cave, and welcome to another episode of How to Write a Solo Like Dimebag Darrell. Today we're going to take a look at something that I call linear interval licks. What this is and what this means you will find out in this video. If you want the free tabs for all those examples here in this lesson today, then feel free to check out the description box. There's the download link where you can download them. And without further ado, I hope you will like this little lesson, and please check out the other two lessons that I made about dimebag solo, how to write solo like dime. Yeah, so much for that. Let's start with the lesson. Okay, first we have to clarify what linear intervals actually means, or what I mean with this term linear intervals. Well, on the guitar and on the fretboard there are a few ways how you can play and how you can outline some intervals. It's not as easy as on the piano, for example, where you push one key and you push another key and there you have the interval. Now on the guitar we have a few more ways, a few more options how we can play and how we can see intervals. For example, let's take the interval of the major 6. Let's say the major 6 of E. The major 6 of E is on paper the C sharp, and we could play it in two ways. We could play it once here. Here's the E on the 7th and the 9th fret on the G string, and our C sharp is, for example, also on the 9th fret but on the E string. This is a major 6. But we could also play it like this, which is basically the same fingering but on a different string set in a different area on the fretboard. Or we could play it like this. A little bit more stretchy way. We could play it like, for example, this way. Is this possible? No, not really. Here's the C sharp. So you see there are a lot of ways how you can play those intervals. But the one way we're going to check out today is to play the interval like this. Once on the E string and on the B string, the 14th fret, there's our C sharp. And now we're taking the last idea, this last concept, and we transform it into scales and into licks. This is what Dime and other players like Petrucci, White, Zach Wild, etc. is using and is doing. Let's take, for example, the A minor scale. Simple and easy, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. Okay, let's play this A minor scale, but only on the B string, for example. Like this. We have 10th fret, 12th fret, 13, 15, 17, 18, 20, 22nd. Okay, now we're adding to those notes the individual 6 of each scale degree in the A minor scale. Sorry. First I'm going to play this kind of idea so you can see and hear what I mean in particular, and then I'm going a bit deeper into the meaning behind the individual intervals, individual 6. Okay, I mean it like this, for example. Let's play the individual 6 to every scale degree note in A minor. Okay, there I don't have a 25th fret, so I have to bend a little bit again. Okay, with the term individual 6 and individual interval, I mean that we have two kinds of 6. We have the major 6 and the minor 6. And each note from the scale, each scale degree, has either the major 6 or the minor 6. And it depends on which note we are. There's no particular system behind it. Well, there is a bigger system behind it, but it would take more than this video to teach that for you. If you don't know theory or anything like this, I recommend you to just accept it for the first way. Of course, I highly recommend everybody to check out theory. Music theory is one of the greatest and fun things that are out there in music, and I love music theory. I'm going to hopefully teach a little bit more music theory soon. But I highly recommend everybody to check out a little bit more or to work on his music theory knowledge, because knowledge is always power. Okay, and here in the A minor scale we have the minor 6 on the A, minor 6 on the B, major 6 on the C, major 6 on the D, minor 6 on the E, major 6 on the F, major 6 on the G, and again the minor 6 on the E, and our root note. So we have minor, minor, major, major, minor, major, major, and again minor. This is the constellation of the minor and major sixes in the minor scale. And this is of course the same on the major scale, but starting on a different root note, or as the same in the modes, but starting on a different root note. But so much for this right now. Okay, now what can we do out of this pattern? Or what is Dime and all those players doing with this kind of idea? Well, they are making some licks and melodic, rhythmical ideas out of it. For example, this kind of idea. Or you can make a simple but interesting sounding scale run. Or you can start with the interval and going to the root. You can as well use this pattern and try to incorporate on a different string set. From the fingering, it stays always the same. Nearly always the same. On the E and on the A, it's the same fingering. On the A and on the D, and on the D and the G, it's always the same fingering. Fingering never changed, but now when we're going from the G to the B string, we have to change the fingering a little bit, because the B string is in a different tuning than the G string. It's not tuned in perfect fifths anymore. So with every fingering here, we have to slide up one fret higher. So instead of this fingering, which is now the perfect fifths, we have to go one fret higher. Oh, sorry. So now, but we can also check out a lot more intervals, like for example the fifths. Let's see how it sounds when we're taking the fifths instead of the sixths. Pretty cool. A little bit more pentatonic, a little bit more unusual kind of sounding, but still pretty awesome. Now, what can we take as well? For example, we could also use the third. This would sound, for example, like this. So, you see, we can create a lot of cool and interesting patterns and ideas around that concept of taking one interval, dividing it into a linear interval and playing it up the scale, down the scale, making some interesting scale runs with this kind of idea. We can apply some rhythm, we can apply some phrasing. Rhythmically, Dime is using, for example, something like this. Or we can try it a little bit more with a melodic approach. For example, something like... Or we could also play... So, you see there are a ton of ways and options how we can use linear intervals, and I highly recommend to everybody to check out a little bit more this kind of style, this kind of idea. John Petrucci is always a great player who's using this kind of lines and ideas in a really interesting way. Highly recommend to check out him a little bit more. And if you want to check out a little bit more about Dime, I recommend you to check out the first episode that I've recorded for this, how to write a solo like Dime, how to write melodies and licks like Dime, kind of video series. And of course, feel free to subscribe to see more free lessons and free content coming every week. So, I hope you liked this video. I hope I'm going to see you in my next video. Cheers and stay progress. Bye.